Remember Gina from Mulberry Street? First dog I ever loved. Every Friday I saved my whole treat allowance just to buy her one of those little heart-shaped peanut butter cookies from Barcarelli's bakery on 8th Avenue. Then one day I finally gave it to her, and she told me she just liked me as a friend. Then she walked away holding paws with some fluffy golden doodle named Joey who wore a sweater vest.
You were so heartbroken you carried that cookie around in your mouth for 3 days like it was a family heirloom. Then every time a golden doodle walked past the house, you would quietly turn off the Sinatra music and stare out the window like a divorced grandfather. You spent an entire summer calling sweater vests symbols of betrayal.
Calvin, whatever happened with that cute French bulldog you met on the dating app? The one you said had kind eyes and good snack energy? You disappeared for one night and came back looking like you survived a federal investigation. What happened?
Frankie. Her profile said she loved quiet evenings and honest communication. I get to her apartment, there's 14 French bulldogs inside, 14, all relatives. Nobody warned me it was a family dinner. One of them kept sniffing my pockets like airport security. Another one climbed onto my lap and fell asleep before I even sat down. Then her Uncle Morris starts interrogating me about my monthly treat income. Frankie, the grandmother, was in the corner coughing into a bowl of spaghetti while watching me the entire night. Nobody blinked. Then right before dessert, they brought out baby pictures of her ex. Whole family started crying. I didn't even know what was happening anymore.
You stayed? Calvin, that wasn't a date. You got adopted by a crime family. The second an uncle asks about your treat income, you leave. You sat through an emotional ex-boyfriend slideshow while a grandmother stared at you like she knew your social security number. Meanwhile, you're probably sitting there nodding politely with pasta sauce on your forehead.
Remember Lucy from obedience school? Tiny cream color Frenchie, red collar, smelled like lavender treats and poor decisions. Every week I'd pretend to need help with basic commands just so I could sit next to her. I failed stay 7 classes in a row on purpose, Frankie. Then one day I finally told her how I felt, and she said she only liked emotionally mature dogs. 5 minutes later she drove off in a stroller with some muscular Frenchie named Antonio that knew over 40 tricks. That kind of rejection stays in your chest.
You got rejected so hard you started pretending you didn't know Lucy existed. Meanwhile, this guy spent 2 months practicing rollover in the hallway at 3 in the morning like he was training for the Olympics. Then after Lucy left with Tony, or whatever his name was, you sat in the backseat of my car eating loose shredded cheese directly out of a grocery bag while whispering, 40 tricks is excessive. You even tried learning how to play dead just to win her back. Problem was, you got stuck upside down near the sofa and started snoring halfway through the demonstration. That wasn't heartbreak, Calvin. That was a full emotional system shutdown.
Hey, Frankie, whatever happened with that knockout Frenchie from the Upper East Side? The one you said was classy, sophisticated, and emotionally dangerous. You bought hair gel for that date. That's how I knew things were serious.
Calvin, first off, she was gorgeous. Tiny pearl collar, expensive sweater. Smelled like imported shampoo and poor financial decisions. I took her to this fancy rooftop restaurant. Everything was perfect. Until the waiter brought sparkling water. I got nervous and accidentally sneezed directly into the bubbles. Calvin, foam shot across the whole table. And then her little purse dog started barking at me. So naturally, I tried barking back to establish dominance. Next thing I know, security's escorting me through a salad bar while she's yelling, he needs therapy. Real beautiful connection while it lasted. Hey Calvin, stay away from lane 4, I'm serious. 3 weeks ago I bowled a strike over there and all 10 pins reset themselves before the ball even came back. Then one of them wobbled by itself and pointed directly at me. Since then I keep feeling watched. Don't look now, but I'm pretty sure the pins are looking at us. Hey Calvin, whatever happened with that blind date your cousin Bruno set you up on? Cute Frenchie from Long Island. You actually seemed excited about that one. Then after the date you didn't talk for like a week. What happened?
Honestly, Frankie, she was really nice. Funny, smart, beautiful little pink sweater. Whole night actually went good. We talked about movies, old neighborhoods, favorite snacks, regular stuff. And for the first time in a long time, I kind of thought maybe this one was different. Then near the end of dinner, she gets real quiet, and she tells me, "You're a really good dog, Calvin." Frankie, the second somebody says good dog in that tone, your stomach drops. Then she says she just wasn't feeling a spark. Meanwhile, I already ordered us a slice of tiramisu to share, so now I'm sitting there alone eating emotional dessert while Sinatra's playing in the background and the waiter keeps looking at me with pity. I took the second fork home by accident. Couldn't even look at tiramisu for 6 months.
Calvin, listen to me. Any dog that says there's no spark after mozzarella sticks and tiramisu, that ain't your fault. Sometimes two dogs just don't jive. And honestly, you're one of the good ones. You care too much, you overthink everything. And emotionally, you're basically a walking panic attack. But your heart's always in the right place. One day some blessed Frenchie's gonna appreciate that. And when she does, don't scare her away talking about gluten-free raviolis or non-GMO health treats.
Frankie, I gotta ask, why do you keep whispering to that red bowling ball before every frame? You rubbed it 3 times yesterday and told it to stay loyal. That ain't normal.
Because this ball understands things, Calvin. You think those pins are just standing there silently? Wrong. They talk. Every frame, little whispers back and forth. Here he comes again. Watch the left hook. Act natural. That's why I use the red ball. Keeps them nervous.
Frankie, you're emotionally feuding with bowling equipment. The pins are not holding secret meetings, and your red ball isn't intimidating anybody. Last week you kissed it for luck and rolled a 7. Meanwhile, you're over there acting like Lane 4 is run by organized crime. Hey, Frankie, whatever happened with that Frenchie from the dating app? The really pretty one. The one you kept calling dangerously elegant. You came home at 2 a.m. smelling like candles and fear. What happened?
Calvin, she was gorgeous. Perfect fur, little pink sweater, tiny gold necklace, looked like she belonged on the cover of French Bulldog Monthly. At first, everything seemed normal. Then 5 minutes into dinner, she asked the waiter if anybody had been sitting in our booth earlier. He didn't know. She whispered back to the waiter, "Good, witnesses complicate things." That's when I should have left. But then she smiled at me, Calvin. I got confused. Then she pulled out a tiny notebook, started writing down every time I blinked. Said she was tracking behavioral inconsistencies. Then she asked if I had any female dogs in my contact list. Before I could answer, she somehow unlocked my phone. Calvin, I still don't know how she knew my password. Then dessert arrived. She stared at the cannoli for 10 straight seconds and whispered, "If you really cared about me, you'd let me have the last bite." Calvin, there was murder in her eyes.
Hey, Frankie, how did you meet your wife, Angela? You always tell a different version. One time you said it happened during a thunderstorm. Another time you claimed there was a helicopter involved. What's the real story?
Calvin, it was the summer of 2019. Hot night. Air smelled like sausage peppers and bad financial decisions. I walk into Pausano's Italian Grill wearing my cream linen bowling shirt. Sinatra's playing. Ceiling fan barely working. Whole place packed. Then I saw her. I saw sweet Angela. She was sitting alone near the cannoli display like some kind of mysterious angel with anger issues. The second she looked at me, a meatball rolled off somebody's plate. Whole restaurant went silent. Even the kitchen stopped cooking. I walked over calm as can be. Didn't even blink. Told her, "You ever meet somebody and immediately feel financially responsible for them?" Boom, instant chemistry. Then suddenly 3 stray Frenchies burst through the front door chasing a rotisserie chicken. Total chaos. Tables flipping. Garlic knots flying. Somebody yelling near the espresso machine. That's when instinct kicked in. I dove across the restaurant, caught the basket midair and protected her with my own body. Pasta sauce everywhere, Calvin, like a war movie. After that, she looked into my eyes and said, "You're either the bravest dog I ever met, or the dumbest." That's when I knew she was the one.
Frankie, that might be the single greatest lie ever told inside a bowling alley. You didn't save Angela. I was there. You walked into Pausano's too fast, slipped on a roasted pepper, crashed into the dessert cart and launched yourself directly into a decorative ficus tree. Meanwhile, you're dangling upside down in fake plants yelling, "Nobody panic, I know the owner." And there were no stray bulldogs. That was you chasing a runaway meatball under 3 tables while Sinatra played in the background. At one point, you accidentally proposed to the waitress because you were dizzy. And that tactical breadbasket rescue? Frankie, the basket hit you square in the face. Angela felt so bad for you, she helped untangle your bowling shirt from the chair leg. You didn't win her over with confidence. You survived long enough for her to feel responsible for you.
Hi, Angela. Frankie just told Calvin he met you during some kind of heroic restaurant rescue. Apparently, Sinatra was playing, bread baskets were flying, and he saved your life. Please tell me what actually happened.
Sophia, Frankie was a complete disaster. First off, he didn't walk confidently into the restaurant. He got his leash caught on the front door handle and spent 30 seconds politely apologizing to a coat rack. Then he tried to act sophisticated and ordered sparkling water. The bubbles scared him. This grown French bulldog jumped backwards into a waiter carrying baked lasagna, sauce everywhere. At one point, Frankie got so nervous he accidentally started chewing my menu. Then he kept trying to wink at me, but both eyes kept closing. I honestly thought he was overheating.
That's the legendary love story. Frankie told Calvin the entire restaurant froze when you saw him. Meanwhile, this man's over there fighting carbonation and eating laminated menus. Why'd you even go out with him again?
Because after all the chaos, he looked at me completely covered in lasagna sauce and said, "I know this feels fast, but if anybody asks, I was cool tonight." And honestly, that was the funniest thing I ever heard.
All right, enough about me. Calvin, how'd you meet Sophia? And don't give me that fake classy version. I want the real story, because there's absolutely no way somebody as organized as Sophia voluntarily dated you on purpose.
Frankie, it was winter, snow falling, wind howling, romance in the air. I was outside Luigi's Pet Market buying emergency mozzarella sticks. Then suddenly I see Sophia across the parking lot. Beautiful, elegant, slow motion. She was carrying 2 grocery bags and wearing this little pink coat. The second our eyes met, a shopping cart started rolling downhill straight toward her. No owner, no brakes, total chaos. People screaming, pigeons scattering, somebody dropping canned ravioli. That's when instinct took over. I sprinted across the parking lot like an athlete. Dove through the air, caught the cart 1 inch before impact. Whole lot went silent. Even the wind stopped. Sophia looked at me with tears in her eyes and whispered, "You saved me." Then we shared a mozzarella stick under a streetlight while Sinatra played from somebody's car radio. Real old school romance.
Calvin, you get winded opening yogurt containers. There is 0 chance you sprinted anywhere. And why is Sinatra always nearby whenever you lie? You're telling me canned ravioli was flying through the atmosphere while you performed a shopping cart rescue. Meanwhile, I know exactly what actually happened. You probably tripped over a parking curb, accidentally grabbed the cart trying to save yourself, and Sophia felt too bad to leave. That ain't romance. That's medically assisted courtship.
Hey, Sophia, Calvin told Frankie he saved you from a runaway shopping cart during a snowstorm. Apparently Sinatra was playing, pigeons were flying, and mozzarella sticks brought you 2 together. Please tell me what really happened.
Angela, Calvin was not rescuing anybody. I first saw him in the frozen food aisle at Luigi's Pet Market. This grown French bulldog was arguing with a freezer door because he thought it opened with attitude. Then he tried reaching for mozzarella sticks, slipped on a coupon flyer, and crashed directly into a pyramid of canned dog food. That's the cart he claims he heroically stopped. Angela. The cart wasn't even moving. At one point, he tried to impress me by offering me a mozzarella stick, but he got emotional halfway through and ate it himself.
That's the legendary romance story? Calvin told Frankie he dove through the air like some kind of action hero. Meanwhile, this dog's out here losing hand-to-hand combat with canned goods. Why'd you even go out with him again?
Because after the whole disaster, Calvin looks up at me from inside the shopping cart and said, Before you judge me, this usually goes much smoother in my imagination. And honestly, that was the most honest thing anybody ever said to me.